Alright guys, welcome to Red Resort. Today is the day. I've been looking forward to showing you these for some time now. Today is Ballistic Repeater Day, and these things are something to behold. So let's just get right on with the show. During the static tests for these, they performed very well. And they came in just behind the deadbolts. I think it was 4 point something seconds. And that was from a Scorpius with 4 size 3s. Pointed straight at the power plant in precision mode, so basically a best case scenario. But that doesn't reflect how things will be once ships start flying around, etc, so further testing was required. Let's jump over to Airco and go through some stats. Now, speed is kind of middle of this list. Not the fastest, not the slowest, not particularly exceptional. The fire rate seems pretty low as well, but coupled with that quite high Alpha Max, you'll see that this actually makes quite a big difference. Tons and tons of ammo, and the health pool on these is far better than the other two, the deadbolts and the sledges. Penetration distance is pretty good as well. It's not massive, but it's enough to get the job done in most circumstances. The range is on the very high end of this list. Strife mass drivers are at the top, then the best things under that are all 2600, and that's where we fall in. But let's get into the game and see what we're talking about here. Okay, so what's the plan here? Well, we had some success with the deadbolts and the sledges, but they both had shortcomings in very specific areas. The hope with the shredder here is that we can reduce the time to kill by avoiding the need to be so precise. The spread on the shredders is actually pretty large, so the hope is for a more spray and pray approach. So we're in the F8, we've got 4 size 3 shredders and 4 size 2 Sawbuck ballistic repeaters, and we're just going to test them against various levels of PvE bounty. And it was really interesting because I would have thought that going up against light targets, where I can just fill a specific cone of the sky with lots of projectiles, would have improved the time to kill for faster moving ships, as has normally been the case. That higher fire rate carrying the load, so to speak. That is not what we found. In fact, some of the hardest things that I fought were Mustangs, and that was before it lost a wing and started spinning around like crazy. And I definitely feel like the deadbolts and the sledges killed smaller ships faster than these shredders. Now, don't get me wrong, they were still putting things in the ground exceptionally quickly. But with the sledges and the deadbolts, it was 1, maybe 2 salvos, and they were gone. With these, I felt like I had to give a bit more chase, which was fine. I had a good time, and I'm not sure what it is that's causing the final kill. If it's just overall hull damage, or if the penetration's hitting components. But definitely, some of the light fighters were able to tank a lot more of these shots than I thought they should be able to. The main difference, though, is that with the deadbolts and the sledges, when you were about to fire, you had a tendency to stabilise your ship so you can make the shot, because you knew it had to be more precise, and it was only NPCs, so there was no risk involved. Whereas with the shredders, you could just keep spraying away, still manoeuvring to the best of your ability, rolling and spiralling towards your target. You could do that with the other two, but you would have more chance of missing. Which brings me to PvP, and this one I'm really not sure about. I feel like I don't have the experience in PvP to state definitively if they would be very good or not. I feel like they should be, but they're lacking in the projectile velocity department. But they would be absolutely fantastic for saturating the sky in the direction of a ship retreating to recharge shields, for example. They've got that range there, they've got that damage. But I don't really do enough PvP to say. We would need somebody who does PvP a lot to say definitively. We did try some in PvP, and they performed really well, but none of us really know what we're doing. I fought a couple of guys in Hornets and won both times, but that doesn't really mean much, to be honest. Because I'm pretty sure I shouldn't have even been able to get shots on an F7 whilst in an F8. Compared to the deadbolts and the sledges, definitely. I would feel a lot safer running the shredders if there was a chance of PvP, if that makes sense. Anyway, moving up the bounty ladder into bigger ships like Hornets and Vanguards and things like that, there was a noticeable jump in performance, and these things were just getting deleted. And it could just be that past a certain range, smaller ships are more immune due to the spread of the weapon. But yeah, these larger fighters, absolutely no problem whatsoever. Had no chance. As we move up again to the bigger targets, the MSRs, the Caterpillars, the Asgards, Shredder build really came into its own. These bigger ships just get absolutely smoked. and it's just not what I expected. It's the exact opposite from what I expected. I thought the sledges would be perfect for big ships and rubbish at small ships, but they were really good at fighters and pretty rubbish on big targets. And these are not rubbish at small targets, but very effective against larger ships. And then if you go past that into scatterguns, it switches again. Very good at small fighters, pretty rubbish at large. It's like everything's just been flipped on its head. But I've not tested that one fully yet, so I would wait for the video. Should be very, very soon. What was a massive advantage here is that, again, you were able to stay as manoeuvrable as possible, avoiding some of the massive incoming damage from those turrets sometimes, which then means you have to break off less. But these high risk targets, I was consistently killing these before their backup arrived, meaning you could just get in, get the job done and get out, get your money, get your rep and jump to the next one. That was also possible with the deadbolts, it wasn't possible with the sledges, and it was pretty reliable. One or two times I got caught up in a fighter ball, but it was no big deal. Moving up to very high risk, you'd probably struggle to get the job done before the fighter ball arrives. In an F8 it would be a bit tough, and these are the most powerful guns I've tested on this ship. So for very high risk, I'd recommend going up a ship size, most likely to a Corsair. And we'll definitely be testing out loadouts for size 4 and 5 over the coming days. Next up I'm going to do the Ion and the Inferno. Had a lot of people asking me to do the Inferno. A lot of people getting that glimmer of hope again, so I really hope that's the case, because there's nothing worse than doing an Inferno video and the conclusion is not a happy one. So we'll see. If you've got any ideas for builds, let me know. We'll see if we can get it tested. Any questions? If you're heavy into PvP and have tested these, let us all know and I'll pin that. I'd say overall these are the best guns I've tested so far. They sound nice, they look nice, things die appropriately. They've just got a nice killer vibe to them. You put these things on your ship, you are going hunting. Woe betide whatever Bambi delivering boxes looks at you the wrong way. But yeah, look out for the Inferno video. We're going to be doing a Strife build. A lot of people asking for light strikes and Omni Skies tested as well. Get around to that soon. Might have to stop and do a news video tomorrow though, get a red report out there. If you're looking for a nice Christmas gift for yourself, hang around because there's an advert at the end of this video that you might be interested in, involving a Scorpius ship model. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again really soon. Take care of yourselves out there. 07 guys. Anybody remember this place? Or what about this model? Or even this model? The UEES Retribution in all its glorious detail. This was made by Pigeon Spaceport, who are now officially licensed by Cloud Imperium and have now laboured to bring you this for you to own for yourself. I've managed to secure a partnership with Pigeon Spaceport and you can get a 7% discount using the code in the description. These are fully ABS injection moulded with their own custom tooling. Incredible detail with very high fidelity and functional wing articulation. They come in the Avalanche, the Stinger and the standard paint sets. There's a full metal base stand, collection grade wooden packaging, and they have years of industrial design and engineering experience. If you pre-order them now, you will get free shipping and tax-free delivery, as well as a special numbered wooden base stand. You should treat yourself, you've worked very hard this year. Managing fleets and hunting down rare armour sets is a very daunting task for any citizen. A big thank you to Pigeon Spaceport for allowing me to get this out to you guys in as fast a time as possible. Merry Christmas.